Greetings, humanity. I'm Jim, and we've been having technical difficulties. As is often the case, and they're going to continue in a moment. We'll find out. Welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I'm Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and this is The Frozen Soul, the Monday night story arc in our Waking Nightmares campaign of Don't Rest Your Head. It's a game by Fred Hicks of Evil Hat Productions. This is a supernatural horror game in which the Insomniac characters have been awake for so long they've developed strange abilities and can freely interact with a realm of living nightmares. There is a chance... There's a chance this might be the finale, possibly, but we'll have to see where we are to figure it out. I'm also... Things that might start sounding weird shortly. You might start hearing some voices overlapping possibly in a moment, because I have to check something, and the only way I can check it is a way that everyone might hear possibly on the stream live, because that's how this works. But so that I can see what's happening, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go around and say hi to everybody, find out who they are and who they're playing. And tonight we are starting with Jimbeaux. Hello.
Hi, I'm Jimbeaux, and I am playing Cole McManus.
Excellent. Excellent. Hopefully, and I'm just going to do a quick audio check that might help us. Excellent. Okay, we're good. All right. And now we shall proceed on through to Celeste. Hello.
Hi, I'm Celeste. I use they or he pronouns. I'll be playing Jay, who uses he or they pronouns. Jay, otherwise known as Jeremiah Gray, the overworked wedding planner who has a fun little ability to split into multiple people. That's fun. And I cannot contain my excitement. I'm so, especially after what happened last time, it's been on the slow cooker in my head for the past week, and I need more. Please.
Oh boy. All right. A lot happened last week, folks. So much happened last week. But now let us head over to Rrok. Hello.
Hi everyone, I'm Rrok and I will be playing the role of Dustin Lint, an artist who has once again found himself wandering the streets of the Mad City.
Excellent. And before we jump into this, you may see us use safety tools from time to time. Like we do with the other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat, or anywhere else, hold up a card or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that, again with an X and N or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anybody needs. Just a few content warnings. This game has the potential for discussions of physical and mental debilitation, insomnia, death, law enforcement, nightmares, body horror, addiction, being stalked and chased by supernatural beings, and other horrific themes. The game has mechanics related to states arising from sleep deprivation, referred to in-game as exhaustion, madness, scars, and fight-or-flight responses, but places the expression of those states squarely in the hands of the players. Now, if you want to see that, you can see that just popped up, Celeste just put that up in the chat, thank you very much. If you want to see that at any time, you can go ahead and type !DRYHCW, and that will show up. It'll also be appearing regularly on rotation, sort of automatically. Also, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. So, one thing I do need to also mention is, unfortunately, that Nash could not be with us this evening. But hopefully they are doing okay, and we will see. It sucks at the last minute, the possibility this might be the finale. But if we end up extending to next week, hopefully we'll be able to see them again then. But if not, Lana will not go unmentioned. But let us see. Last time, a lot happened last time. Quite a bit. The short version of it is that everyone, all of our players are awakened. They have been trying for some time. They have been awake for so long that they can see the nightmares, and the nightmares can see them, and strange realities bleed into theirs back and forth. They find themselves with strange abilities. They are here in the City of Nightmares, the Mad City, the place where the nightmares live, which you can get to through doorways that no one else can see. They are here in pursuit of a couple of folks that they have lost. A couple of friends, co-workers, what have you. One is an assistant planner named Sophia.
It's interchangeable.
So the first 5 letters are SOPHI, and then I will look at my notes and all will become clear. Actually, you know what? I tell a lie. I have SOFIA. Curse this new century! And by this new century, I mean like the 19th and then anything after it. Anyway. What do we have? Yes. So, one of them is Sophia. The other is someone who works for a Renaissance fair. And that is a builder carpenter by the name of Leo Cronin. Leo Cronin, as it turns out, also is apparently a subject of one of the major nightmares in this city, the Wax King. And it is believed that it is for that reason that Leo was abducted from a wedding party that was happening. For a wedding that had happened, it was happening at a Renaissance fair, by someone dressed as a Red Knight, who had strange abilities. He was able to change his appearance in the middle of everything. He unleashed quite a lot. We'll just put it at that. Leo has been taken. They think into a labyrinth in the Mad City, where it is believed that he is somewhere inside, having created a haven of some sort for himself that has been referred to as an ice palace. And that's sort of what they're looking for. Sophia, they don't have as much of a lead on, but Jay has been texting quite recently. Apparently, Sophia's been texting with Jay, and Sophia indicated that they're at the track in the labyrinth, place with varying environment, possibly multiple varying environments, we're not sure. And asked if there was anything to trade. Was behaving very strangely in these texts. But our group, after the city stopped moving, because during the 13th hour, there are 13 hours in the Mad City. Here it is always night. There is no night and day, but there are 13 hours. Once the city had settled down, because it moves a lot during the 13th hour, they struck out to find the labyrinth. They found themselves crossing a district called the Pain District. At first in the subways, and then up top. Being pursued by individuals working for, as it turned out, a group of nightmares known as the Press Gang. And Holm used his ability to download a lot of information about them into his brain from a Mr. Sphinx, who was was kind of the one who catches people and presses them into service for the Press Gang. There was a fight. Holm won. But then, as they were fleeing, trying to find their way out of the Pain District, Jay and Colm had a moment. During that moment, there was a kiss. And Colm's Madness talent activated because he doesn't have quite 100% control of it yet. And led him to read certain information about Jay that made things get a little bit dangerous and intense between them in that moment. Holmes snapped at that point for a bit, but was able to rein himself in finally. And the group quietly then quietly and awkwardly made their way out of the Pain District to the district next door, which is the Labyrinth. This is where the four of you are now. You are outside this edifice. And from what you can see from the outside, it's this very high brick wall that goes all the way around this thing. Given where you are, let me actually go ahead and pull up the, let me look at my map, because that would probably be helpful. The city has just been shifting around, so no one knows what the layout of the city is right now. I mean, there are certain powerful individuals you can talk to for that information, but only certain individuals get that information immediately. Everyone else has to, map it out and figure it out. But that said, let's see. Apps. Here we go. I shall now gaze upon my my information. Given where they are, you're at the intersection of four different districts. District 13, it's which is an edifice of bureaucracy and strange square buildings, lots of ductwork all over the place. Lots of clockwork people inside, and other beings. The Pain District, which is immediately behind you, on the outward corner, the outward counterclockwise corner, diagonally across from you, at the inward clockwise corner, is the district looks strange. It's not one, Dustin, that you've seen before. It's this weird eyesore type. It's an eyesore, but it's this weird mix of different periods of architecture, where there are things that look. There's this motif of Roman columns. And but then a lot of sort of urban sprawl with lots of neon as well. Odd kind of towers. That district, it's strange because there's the degree to which the buildings change in their time periods is much more vast than in most of the city. In most of the city, it's like 17 to 1800s through today, typically, as the different buildings that you see side by side incongruously. This is all the way back to the Greco-Roman era, and is a mix of buildings of styles from that point to today. But there is something also strangely and distinctly modern about it. It's almost like a Vegas cluster in a way, to an extent. And you see sort of there is a big building in the distance you can kind of make out towering above the others. It looks like a coliseum of some kind.
No, we've circled back. We've circled back to Las Vegas.
Hate to tell you, folks. Alas.
Alas, Vegas. Hey, I get to do my Elvis impression again. It's all
God. Oh, wow. Yeah. Thankfully, this is not that Vegas, but it's, as the layout is a bit different. But the layout may be the only difference for all I know. We won't know unless people go in. We'll see. But it does, the only signage that you see that indicates the name of the district is Arena. That's what it says. In big sort of chiseled letters, you see it across this marble archway. And of course, then the final district in this very long sentence that I started several years ago, it seems, is the Labyrinth. On the outward clockwise corner. Now, as always, there are many vehicles going back and forth from a lot of different time periods. Many people dressed from many different time periods, going back and forth. Some of them nightmares. There is a clockwork cop at this intersection directing traffic in the middle. You're looking across the street. You can see this. What you see mostly are sort of grayish to. It's not exactly a motley of stones, but it's sort of, it goes. There is a range of different colored bricks, stone bricks. They are stone bricks, so they're a little bit bigger than traditional bricks, than clay bricks. But they range in color from kind of a sort of a salmon colored to down through sort of tannish and almost gray. And there are a number of doors that look fairly incongruous that you can see from here. That you don't know if they lead in or not, or if these are just, Mad City doors that go to other places in the Mad City or to places in the city slumbering. But that is where you currently are, and what you are currently doing is perhaps preparing to cross the street. We don't know. What are we doing?
I believe that we were headed towards the labyrinth, as I seem to recall. Even though Colm wasn't leading the way, he had gained insight or something that was basically kind of like, that's the direction that we need to head in. And as soon as he did, then Dustin was just kind of like, okay, let's go. And
yeah, Colton could tell us where the labyrinth was, but he really didn't know beyond that. You know, so we're there, and we know the people we're looking for are in there, so we should probably go in there.
Yeah. So and that's what Dustin would have been thinking is you know.
Well, you do recognize that is definitely the labyrinth. You recognize it from Sphinx's memories.
Mm-hmm.
So we are crossing the street. At this point, it is just after. Wait a minute. No, it isn't. It's you got all the way across the Pain District, so it's somewhere, like I want to say, in the neighborhood of 1:30. I think probably. So between 1:30 and 2. And so you have a fair number of police vehicles that are returning to District 13 after having made their rounds in other places while the city was shifting around. Try to pick people up. So they are on a little bit of alert. So if you would like to get across this intersection, if you're crossing here, you just don't want to alert any of them to your presence. And the pain is 2. Who is leading?
I can lead. I would appreciate help, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I will assist.
And so
I don't think I need to add any extra madness to this. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine.
Oh, shit. Okay. My brain, like, all of the mechanics for this game just kind of leaked out of my ears at some point. Because, like, I would have been fine. I don't need help. I'm fine.
Anyone else want to roll before I roll the pain? Just checking.
looks like we're all right.
Okay. All right, I got 1 success. You got 6 successes.
Crushed it.
So this will go quite well. Pain is dominating.
Fun.
So I'll go ahead and grab another token. Or another coin of despair. So... you will quite handily make it across without being noticed because there are crowds of people here. I would think. Jay, you're sort of proceeding kind of in the lead across this street. And I think that, yes. I need to look at a list. Everything is fine. Everything.
I'm sure.
I just need to make a quick roll.
Okay.
What's that, a 10?
A good, low, bad.
Gotcha. So no one seems to notice you as you are crossing the street, except about halfway across, you will see that there is a someone who looks like a there are a couple of individuals actually. It looks like they might be circus performers, you're not entirely sure. Standing on the corner of the labyrinth. Of the labyrinth district. Looking at you intently. Looking at the four of you intently. And one is wearing a tuxedo and a cape. And a blindfold. And yet somehow you get the impression that he's staring at you all intently. The other is a clown. This is a red-nosed clown. With sort of red hair and intense features. And when you get about, you notice them at about the halfway point. By the time you have, amongst this horde of people, once you have reached the three-quarter point of the way there, you see they have turned and are walking away.
What they say?
You see them heading up the street far ahead of you.
What they say? Not my circus, not my monkeys.
Your monkeys are perhaps elsewhere.
Yes.
Don't like that they perceived us.
Yeah, but they didn't do anything, did they?
And just because they didn't do anything doesn't mean they're not going to do something.
Well,
Especially with how things work around here.
maybe that clown will come after us with balloon animals then.
Well, we'll just need to go ahead and keep our eyes and ears open. The way this area is, this place is, they could have just wandered off, or we could run into them later.
Do you think he was a crying on the inside clown?
I mean, the only way to know would be to look inside, right?
I suppose so. Or to just ask him.
I find it hard to believe any of us aren't crying at least a little bit on the inside.
Oh, no comment on that.
Well, are we going to stand out here and chat, or are we going to go in?
Yeah, well, lead the way.
So, you're on the corner now, and you have two directions you can go in. You can go to your left, which would be in an outward direction, along the narrower of the narrower, the shorter of the two walls. Or you can go you can continue moving clockwise along the longer of the two walls. And there are many doors. You can see several doors. On both walls, along both walls.
I think we should call out for Leo, see if he hears us.
I mean, we're on the outside. I'm not sure that he necessarily would. It's not that it would necessarily hurt, other than possibly calling attention to ourselves.
How do we get inside?
Dustin's gonna walk over and turn the handle on the door and see if it opens.
The nearest door is, let's see. Looks like it's made out of stone. And it's like you'd have to. It does have a handle. It sort of takes a lot of sort of leaning. Be able to. Be able to do that. Roll a. Could you roll? You can roll either a D3 or a D6. Either way. Okay. As the door sort of opens, you will see that it opens into a. It looks like a very different environment. There's but it's like a. It looks like a graveyard, a cemetery. That it doesn't look like it's a continuation of anything from it looks like it's outside. It's a cemetery, and you actually can hear cars passing. Not many, actually, but you can hear, like, every now and then you hear the sound of a car going by beyond the cemetery. And there is lighting, not in the cemetery, but you see there are like street lights out there somewhere. That's what you can make out at that door.
Okay. I think Justin's going to go ahead and kind of slide the door closed and just look back and go, well, not that one.
All right.
So we're just gonna keep trying doors until we're sure we're at the right door?
Jim, there are no windows to this building, right?
No windows.
Okay, yeah. And so just, I mean, unless you have a better method.
Let me try something. And I want to use hyper-awareness to see if I can't figure out what's behind these doors by walking past them without having to, like, keep opening. Just, like, keep walking down the line until I can get a sense that one of them is the one that we need.
Hyper-awareness is your exhaustion talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, you can basically, now, just so you're aware,
Mm-hmm. I see what you did there.
this is not going to. Oh, right. This is not going to. I didn't see it until after I did it. But
Intend your puns, coward.
No, I literally didn't. See, there's the thing. Most of the puns that I make, I actually don't realize that I've made them until afterward, because my brain latches onto things that have just been said or that I've just heard. And as a result, repetition happens. So that often is the case. But the ones that I do intend to do happen. But they're, not terrible. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
No.
Shots fired.
Actually, they might be terrible for all I know. But also,
paper.
I'm not going to get into this right now. We're going to be here like an hour if you want me to explain my theory on puns. Anyway, puns aren't. The short version is puns aren't bad. What we do with them is. Anyway.
I'd say that's understandable.
You're just proving my point. Anyway, just so you know, the thing is that so this is not a supernatural ability, so it's just you're incredibly good, borderline supernaturally good at this. So, what this means is you're going to be kind of sensing things in the way through your five senses as you go by each door and try to feel like, okay, does this feel like this goes in? Does this feel like this would go in? Does this feel like this would go in? And I kind of imagine you're sort of trying to figure out, does this feel like this actually goes into this building?
Yep.
Is probably what we're looking for. So, and people can absolutely do that. That's fine. Is this going to be a major use or a minor use of your exhaustion talent?
Probably major.
Okay.
Feels right.
So, what you shall need to do is, so before you roll, I need to give you a pain rating.
Sick.
The pain rating. I should come up with like a flat Labyrinth pain rating. Wouldn't that be nice? No, that would be simple, Jim. We're going to, given the nature of this thing and the number of doors that there are on this thing, I'm gonna give this a pain rating of 4. And this is going to be a major use, so you increased your exhaustion beforehand. I'm just going to put this little reminder up there that hopefully will work. And let me know. Are you heading? Well, I'll ask that in a moment.
Jesus Christ, Jay.
Okay.
Can I use some hope for that?
You
Or
can. Maybe I should roll first though, so you can see how much
Okay.
hope you may want to. If it's okay with everybody. Let me go ahead and roll. I actually also only have 1 success, so you don't need to.
Okay, sick. Woo! Lucky.
As it turns out, but as it turns out, exhaustion is dominating. So
Okay.
this process takes a lot out of you. You're going to increase your exhaustion by again now.
Yep.
Add another exhaustion. Are you
Oh,
heading?
It's really the first time Jay's been hit hard, so.
So what that tells me is
Kinda
you're
my
taking
turn.
the long way.
Okay.
Probably. So you're going along the front of the labyrinth, and you're kind of stopping at each door. And it's like there's a huge variety of doors that look like they do not belong here. Most of them. But ultimately, finally, you think people have been going in and out, possibly, of some of these doors. So it's hard to tell. There are people on the street here also. But most of these doors, up until a certain point, every door that you stop by feels like, okay, no, I can like smell the outdoors in here, or
That's a
this
McDonald's
sounds-
bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. It's like some of them. It's weird because it's like saying behind some doors you hear screaming, and other things. So it's like, okay, some of these doors perhaps go to other places in the Mad City. Some of these doors go to the city slumbering. You'd say it's about like every the majority, most of the doors, at least the majority of the doors, seem to go to other places in the Mad City, probably. Just given how weird things get when you get near them. But as you get close to around, you realize, okay, no, it's gonna eventually you realize, oh wait, no, you're getting close to what would be like halfway between here and the middle. And you see a door that is a stone door set in to this place. It's or a stone door frame that, and you see above it are words etched, or a word etched. And it says in it says that in these carved words, Labyrinthum. A single Labyrinthum. And there's an umbrella just kind of hanging out there right next to the door, that someone's just propped up against it, the doorway. It looks like that door is open.
I think it's this one. Normally, I'd say that's a little on the nose and intentionally misleading, but this seems promising.
All right. Everyone remember, if we run into a wee small worm that seems awfully nice and is rather fuzzy, just listen to everything they have to say, and they'll tell us how to get where we're going. Don't be too hasty.
I would remind you that in that source material, the protagonist did in fact listen to the worm.
Yeah, well, Colm doesn't remember it too well.
That's fair. But anyway. Yeah, so there's this here's this. And you see it probably, the door is open. It looks like there's a sort of a gate that might draw across it from the inside. It's going to open into like an antechamber. It would
Take the
seem.
umbrella with us. Do
You
we
want to
leave
take
it
the
here?
umbrella?
Oh boy, we really shouldn't be taking mysterious objects, but
We could be here for a reason.
yeah, and that reason could be to not take it and to leave it here.
Suit yourself.
Fuck it. He takes the umbrella.
So Jay is now carrying the mysterious umbrella. I just want to I just want to make sure that that's understood.
Yep.
Okay, all right. I'll make a quick note.
If nothing else, it's fashionable.
Okay, good, excellent.
I hate that you like that. I hate that you like that I did that. I hate that you're happy.
I'm very pleased. Yes, my happiness is something that I'm often suspicious of as well.
I hate that that's relatable.
So, mysterious umbrella in hand, you head into the antechamber. And, we're inside the labyrinth, folks. Let's see. So, this room also, it's made of the same bricks that that you saw outside. The bricks are kind of grayer in here. Let me see. There's a kind of a somewhat vaulted ceiling above you. Here you have kind of a stone floor that's got dust on it in various places, but there are a lot of footprints in the dust going back and forth. And on the wall, I should specify. So toward the end of this antechamber, you see there are doors at the far end. Here there are a couple of tables and chairs. There's what looks like a tea set on one of the tables. And it looks like on another table there's like a perfume bottle that's just sitting there by itself. And on the wall, you can see that there's kind of this big sort of plaque that's set into the wall. And on this plaque again, some words have been chiseled. And the words say, "Within the maze of thoughts unbound, the symphonies of thoughts spin round. In wondrous patterns they ignite, to test the realms of day and night."
Is that a warning? Is that a warning? Or is it just somebody's poetry project from high school?
I'm about to say that sounds like something some of my mates would have written when they were in their teens.
I don't think we should dismiss it. Awesome bound. Symphonies of thoughts spin round.
You know, I actually am going to change one of the words.
Ah.
You can actually see the plaque editing itself.
First writes, "Whoops, sorry about that," and then untypes.
Yeah. Within the, I'm gonna say that the first line says, "Within the maze of minds unbound." But otherwise it's the same. "Within the maze of minds unbound, symphonies of thought spin round. In wondrous patterns they ignite, test the realms of day and night."
It sounds like something my uncle would write. He'd set it to music, though.
He takes a picture on his phone. That way they don't
Okay,
forget.
You got a picture?
Okay. Okay, well, I'm not going to stand here and overthink it, because if I stand here and overthink it, we'll be here all day. We have places to be.
Great.
I think we should keep moving,
inside,
but we should keep it in mind.
Now that we're inside, should I yell for Leo? Just to see if he can hear us.
You muted, Rrok.
I hadn't actually said anything yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like, I think Justin's gonna look and go, still not sure that's wise, but you can always give it a try and see if we get a response.
We don't know what else is in here.
Oh, it's
Well, yeah.
If you don't think it's a good idea, we'll do it.
I think it might be a good idea for us to kind of look around a little bit first and see if we can find him.
Right.
Or at least find places that he's not.
Well, he's not here, so let's keep moving.
All right. Keep your hand on the left wall.
At the end of this chamber, there are 3 doors. Each has a different symbol above it. Above one, above the door on the left, there are 3 doors. The door on the left has what looks like a cigarette above it. Picture of a cigarette. Someone has photographed a cigarette and put it in a picture frame and hung it above that door. The middle door has what looks like a black gemstone inset above it into this sort of into this stonework that's kind of set up as part of like a Jim is fumbling for architectural terms above the lintel. The door on the right has a picture of a candle above it.
Does the candle look at all like the tattoo that Leo had?
It doesn't have the wick, the candle wick. It doesn't have the. I should specify. Not exactly. It doesn't look exactly like it.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to explain. It's yeah. The candle in the symbol in the tattoo, I think I'm gonna say is lit, whereas this picture of a candle is not lit. This is a picture of a candle that's gone out.
You said the gemstone was completely dark, like almost like obsidian or something?
Yeah, it's very dark. I'd say it looks black from here.
And then the other one is a cigarette.
Yep.
Smoking room, maybe.
Hey, smoking stuff for health.
Hang on. I'm thinking of something. I need to look at the map again. Jim, you said that there were at least 2 new districts that we've never seen before, right? There's the Pain District, and then there's that other district.
Yes, there was a sort of an arts district looking thing. These doors, by the way, I should mention the doors themselves all look identical. They look like actually doors you'd find in a person's house. Granted, a little bit older, so they look like wooden doors painted white. Their handles are a little bit odd. They've got how do I describe these? They're ring handles. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like there's a ring sort of like one would have for a door knocker, but they're kind of attached to the door, so they move them up and down. They're looped onto it, I should say.
I'm feeling middle door.
I think we should go for the one with a candle over it.
Okay.
It's possible that... I hate to say this, but it's possible that any of these doors could open up to another district.
Right.
Look,
And if that's the case...
But can we just open them and not go through? I mean, just open and look.
Yes, but I feel like this place operates on rules such that that might incur some kind of penalty.
Well, going through the one with the candle might lead to the Wax King's kingdom, which may be better for us. It would definitely be better for us than to go to the Shadow Throne.
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. Oh, I hate this.
And that cigarette one, I have no clue. There's a couple of places that could go to. That could go to the Arts District. That could be back to the Pain District. That could, could lead to the rooftops.
Look, we're becoming paralyzed with indecision here.
Well, I think we should go through the one with the candle.
All right.
I mean, if anything, think of it this way. Leo has a candle on it, has a tattoo of a candle on his arm, right?
I was thinking the same thing. All right, gonna open that door.
Are you sure?
No, please, let's debate about it for another half hour.
Sorry.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So, here is where I'm going to call folks' attention. Who's opening the door? Just so I'll know.
I will.
Okay. Now, there is a macro that I have created.
Uh-oh.
That
Macro.
everyone should be able to see. Possibly, depends on if they've got the macro bar open or not. If they see it like floating there, but if you go to the collections tab, which is the next to the second to the right,
Uh-huh.
Second from the right. You look. There's a macro there called Labyrinth, and
Mhm.
so what I would like James to do is to use that macro so that I will be able to then look at the appropriate prompts.
Boom.
Excellent. Excellent. Good. We're trying out this system now. You can, of course, make that appear in your macro bar if you so desire. You all can do that. 2, 3, and 36. Okay. So
One is
first off,
2, the 2 is 3.
yes. 1 is 2 and 2 is 3.
And little
Okay.
lamb's divey.
All right.
3 is 36, which is 1 times 3 and 2 times 3. So.
Okay. All right. And we go ahead and look at my little tables here. Three.
Ooh, it's a wandering monster table, isn't it? We're about to be attacked by a gelatinous cube.
It could
Please
be.
no.
All right. And then 3 and then 36. All right. Got it. Okay. So you're going to go through. You're going to open this door and go through.
I'm going to open the door, see what's on the other
Oh,
side.
okay. Yes.
If it's not a wall of spikes, I'll go through.
It is not a wall of spikes.
Okay.
On the other side of the door, you see that there's a room that has darker brick, sort of red brick, making up part of it. It's like the wall is the walls of this other room. It's like bricks, red brick up to a certain point, about the middle of the wall, and then above that is plaster, which is also crumbling away, and you see more red brick behind it. The floor is wooden slats, and it looks like there are some discarded boxes. It looks like there was there's a bunch of crap in that room, but then also just a bunch of different like junk, things of that nature. That it seems there, and then among them there are a lot of these. Up above there are these plants and sort of vines that have been that have grown like out of control, almost up the walls, and sort of hung across these different plants. There are a lot of hanging plants that are up there. And through this jungle of old things and plants, you can see that there are. From here, you can see there's maybe there's higher on the wall, or walls are decorated. Hard to say. You see some archways through there.
Well, we can head through here. We can try one of the other doors. Doesn't look like there's anything particularly dangerous here. But nothing particularly promising either.
think we should stick with our decision. Run it to its end, and if necessary, we can always backtrack and try one of the other doors.
Well, let's head in then.
As you all enter, you will note that the door closes behind you. And you hear like a brief, it's very soft and subtle, but you hear behind you kind of a grinding sound, like of stone grinding. And there's this brief moment when plaster falls from the ceiling.
Well, I'm guessing we're not going back that way then.
There's a
Now a good time to mention that I don't like enclosed spaces. Not a fan. Not a fan.
If you look
Don't
back
like
at the door
this.
behind you, it looks very similar to the one that you just... It looks just like the one you just came through. It's painted green on this side. There is going to be a symbol above it. Let me see. Yeah. There's going to be a... There's going to be, it looks like a lounge chair. A picture of a lounge chair above that door. Kind of like the kind you would... Wooden lounge chair you sort of the kind you'd put on a beach. That kind of deal.
Mm.
So in this room, again, now that you're inside the room, you can see that there is a ceiling. It's a little high. You can see through the leaves. There it looks like there was once like stuff painted on the walls. That are kind of like, they look almost like frescoes up high. But you can't really make them out because of all the vines and everything. This room, as you enter, I think this is probably, by this point, you will probably note that Lana is not with you.
Cool.
She's probably nearby somewhere.
Probably.
But, yeah, kind of as you're looking around, I actually would like, let me see, how am I going to do this? Yeah. I'd like everyone to just roll a d6 for me.
Oh boy.
Ooh. Okay. Could James and Rrok reroll, please? Thank you. Okay. So, what would you like to do? You see that there are archways in this room that you can see, in sort of in the distance. It's not a huge room, but it's, you know, big enough. You think there are other doors on the walls as well that look kind of weird and incongruous. Sort of a frosted glass door. There's a there's like a triangular door.
Well, if enclosed spaces are no good for you, let's just keep moving and get out of this one, shall we?
Yep.
If as we go past the doors and we look at them, do we see symbols over each of them, like the doors we just went through?
No, not the
Okay.
doors. No.
What about the archways?
The archways might. As you are making your way through, there's what looks like you're heading toward one of the archways. This is a room with 4 walls. There is an archway in each wall. Do you want to go to the far wall, or to the left, or to the right?
My money's on right.
All right.
Yeah, we'll go with right.
So as you're moving to the right, there is slightly to the left of where you're headed, still in the same general direction. There is what looks like this big kind of fake cloud. It's like a theater prop. That's kind of hanging there up against a pillar. And Holm, you will spot what looks like someone for a moment is peering up over it at you. And you hear this little sort of flap of something like paper, and you'll sort of duck back down.
Oi! You! Come here! Don't make me come back there and get you.
Yeah. You see the dust is stirring over there.
Come here, out from behind the fake cloud.
Maybe we shouldn't be heckling the mysterious figures that exist here. Just a
I'm
thought.
asking them to come out so we can talk to them.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to maybe ask some questions. I think Dustin's gonna walk over to the cloud.
Okay. You see that there is as you look, the dust is stirred. You're heading over there, and you see there is there's a little piece of paper that's lying just to the right of the cloud, with some writing on it.
It's all symbolic. Do you keep your memories written down on paper, or do you put them up in the cloud?
You see that as you approach this cloud.
I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up the piece of paper.
Okay. At the top of this, it's written in nice sort of calligraphy. At the top of it is the letter C. C, and then a colon. And then underneath it is written, "What is your purpose?" And then at the bottom it's signed, "Me."
Interesting.
What's it say?
It just asks the question, what is your purpose?
Oh, we're looking for Leo, aren't we?
And that's what we're doing. If the question is for us.
What else would it be for?
You're going to also spot in sort of the you see something moving out of the corner of your eye.
Mm-hmm.
Over by this wine rack that you're seeing here, this with a couple of very dusty looking bottles, and you see this again, this sort of gray looking figure, blurry, just sort of waves in your direction and ducks around behind the wine rack. And you spot another piece of paper floating to the ground.
Right. Walk over and pick it up.
What's it say?
Will it? That's a great question. When you find him, will it help? Or will you be on the same path?
I think it'll help. I'm just bringing him home. I mean, theoretically. I mean, assuming any of this is real.
You see against the wall, the right-hand wall that you folks were headed toward, near the right-hand wall, there is a your attention is drawn to it because you hear the sound of a blanket, or it's actually a curtain or blanket or a sheet being pulled away from something. And from the angles that you're standing at, you see that you all will see it's a mirror. But the angle it's right now, it's reflecting calm. And Colm, you see there's another note pinned up at the top of the mirror.
Can you just talk to us?
Give me a second. Pain of 3.
Okay. of. Alright. I'll toss Star Madness dice into that. I feel like succeeding.
Sick.
Okay, I got 2 successes. You got many more than that. You got three more than I did. You got 5 successes. Discipline is dominating. So, you actually, Colm, you have taken a second to center yourself here as you're doing this. Very calmly speaking to this individual. You're not letting them get on your nerves. And so you actually can also, by the way, discipline's dominating, so you can remove either a check. Actually, I don't think you have anything checked right now, but you can remove an exhaustion if you wish.
Fantastic. I would like to do.
And you see, almost impossibly, you see a hand reach up, a gray hand reach up to where the note is pinned. You haven't seen what was written on the note, but you see it very quick as lightning goes up and switches the note out for a different note. But it will. You walk over. It's you see, it looks like there wasn't a lot written. You could tell on the previous note. This one has a little more written on it.
Okay.
Sorry, I have trouble being perceived.
Has trouble being perceived?
And underneath it, it says, I wanted to ask if the person in this mirror is who you want to continue being.
I mean, me? Why would I want to be anyone else?
All right. Do you look in the mirror at all, or are you just?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You see yourself. There are no tricks here. It's as far as your image. Your image is reflected back at you. This looks like a normal mirror. Mm-hmm. And you see that you can see what you look like right now. You're probably looking pretty tired.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see the effects of the fight that you had with Mr. Sphinx, your bloodied hand that may perhaps you've bound it, your leg also that's been bound, any number of bumps and bruises that you've acquired along the way between then and now, in this medieval outfit that you've had on. And
that's right. We're still dressed in the wedding.
Jay actually is not. Jay found a workaround for that, but yeah, Cole and Dustin definitely still are, and yeah.
Colm turns towards Jay and gives this very slight rakish smile and says, "What do you think? You like what you see?"
Like, Jay's hand, goes to his eyes.
Well, either that's very, very good or very, very bad. You'll have to live with it either way.
Like, now that you're actively flirting back, all of his game is gone. It's out the window. Immediately flustered.
Disaster gay.
True. What? So, did it ask? What did it ask you about wanting to change?
Well, it wanted to know if what I saw in the mirror is what I wanted to be.
Jay?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
So, does Jay talk with his hands at all?
Yeah.
Okay. As you finish saying that and you're gesturing, you've noticed that someone has put a note in your hand.
Now, how did you?
you turn and there's like something. There's a very large teddy bear that's sort of sitting in the middle, and something sort of seems to duck behind it for a moment.
I mean, I get it. I also sometimes don't want people to look at me. It's fun. Let me just. And he opens the note.
It'd be nice if you could hear me. The note says, again, C: Actually, no, you've been speaking. They're comfortable enough at this point. It says : I don't know if I can help you, but I want to know your purpose. And it's signed me.
This one has your name on it.
My name?
Yeah. As if you're the one speaking.
Well, that makes sense.
Or letters of. You've received business letters before, also. It's kind of in that format too.
Okay. If you really want to try to help, our purpose is that we need to find two people who are here, we believe against their will, and then we want to get out of the Mad City and go back to... Have we heard what it's called yet? The City Slumbering? Have we heard that nomenclature used?
We've heard that term before, yeah.
And then go back to the City Slumbering. If you can help us with that, we'd really appreciate it.
You hear a sigh, and you look in the direction, you see there's this water cooler that still has some liquid in it or other. It's about, 2/3 empty, but a little bubble comes up from it. And you see there's a note pinned to the nozzle.
Water cooler full of vodka.
You wish.
Oh, wow.
Note says...
In larger letters, it says, "What is Colm's purpose?" Colm is underlined.
They're asking you specifically.
Me?
Yeah, what is Colm's purpose? This is all you, apparently. Guess I'm not interesting enough.
Well. Colm takes a step or two away from everyone else and very quietly says, "I'll answer if you answer me this first. Are you the me that I'm not letting other people see?"
there is a pause during which, you don't hear or see anything unusual aside from what's already here. And you hear a sort of and then you hear a clunk, a light clunk sound, and you see that there is a closer to the middle of the chamber. There's this shoe tree that has a bunch of shoes on it, and one of them has fallen to the ground. And there's a note sticking up out of the shoe.
Take it, read it.
I worry I might be. I am not sure. But I don't want to be afraid of myself.
At that, Colm just sits heavily on the ground and stares at the note. And I think that he kind of wipes away a tear.
Are you okay?
I can't always be honest about things. Not with how I am, but with who I am. And I think this thing here is the part of me that I can't ever let be seen. It wants to help, but it's scared of who it is and who I am. I don't know how to make that better for him.
We've all got parts of ourselves that we don't want the world to see. That we don't want to see. But they're just as much a part of you as the rest of you. And you have to accept that.
It's hurting him. Me, I can take a beating for days. I think he's hurting. I don't want to let him be hurt. Especially when he's being so helpful. Let me tell you a thing. The entire time, up until a few hours ago that we were here, I've been thinking that this is just me taking some ayahuasca out at Stonehenge. I'm not sure if it is that or not. But an hour or so ago, when I could see inside your head, when you tried to prove to me that this is real, it was the first time that I hoped it was.
I want to try something. I think we should all close our eyes.
Holmes closes his eyes.
So does Dustin. Yep.
Jay closes his eyes. And he puts out a hand.
Okay.
I can't see you, but I'm here for you.
Home? I need to know if you think that something, whether or not, I need to know if you let me phrase this properly. Do you think something is going to take Jay's hand?
Yes.
I'm asking, I need to ask James specifically.
Oh, my bad.
Oh. If it is what I think it is, then yes.
Close enough. Jay, you feel as though there is a hand that is slowly, tentatively taking yours. It's at an odd angle. It's like it's someone kind of doing it from the side, rather than like right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
How are you responding?
He's gonna let it take his hand. He's gonna, like, kind of make sure that it knows that it's completely safe in what it's doing. And once is it like a laced fingers kind of deal, or?
Well, let's see. I need someone else to help me figure the physics of this out. It's like someone they're very tentatively. It's like, say, if it's your right hand, someone's left hand is coming to take yours, and so like got your hand open. It starts off as kind of like from the side. If Jay moves his hand to lace the fingers,
That's the play, yeah.
James, do you think that that laced fingers would happen?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, if this is... I will reveal a little bit in saying that this is not 100% probably what you think it is.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's enough there that my asking you this question is important.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you get a little bit of lace fingers happening. Not completely, but
yeah.
It's a couple of fingers.
Yeah. And when that happens, Jay, without looking, brings his other hand over very slowly, moving very slowly, not suddenly, giving full opportunity to pull away, and just gently places his other hand on the back of the hand in his and gives it a gentle pat.
Okay. You'll get a feeling of... You'll hear kind of like a sigh of some kind of sort of like a minor sort of sigh of relief. Then you will, and you stand there for a moment. And just sort of live in that moment. Let's see. There's a brief motion where you feel this sort of like this little sort of, like another hand just after a moment being like tap tap, sort of the give me a second sort of tap tap, and it will not violently, not in a an upset fashion. It'll the handle will pull away.
I don't make any move to restrain or anything.
Yeah.
Lets it go very easily.
And there's a moment when Colm, you're going to hear something approaching you.
Okay.
Walking toward you. And this is kind of like, have you ever... You know what it sounds like when someone who does not make noise when they walk tries to make noise when they walk? This is kind of like that. So it's like, it's kind of, it's fairly obvious, but probably not as obvious as someone who is loud. You hear something sort of pad up to you, as it were. And you feel again in your left hand. This is going to get a little weird. Your left hand, you feel someone very slowly making as if to hold your hand for a second. All right. How do you react to that?
Just sort of allow it to happen.
Okay. And there's a brief moment where you hear it sounds like someone is like kind of moving and shifting, trying to stretch a little bit, maybe. And on sort of near your right hand, oh God, how do I do this? Oh. Okay. Okay. Yes. I know how we're gonna do this. And actually, we don't even need to involve your right arm at all if we don't need to. There is a did your gang, your gang of hooligans, you were a player, so I don't know how this is maybe not even they're not exactly like gangs, but they kind of, in some ways they are. But I imagine that in the subculture involved, there are kind of signs that they can give to each other, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And you're gonna feel someone sort of another hand press sort of into the top of your hand, the back of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
In a tapping way, and you feel like they're making, and they'll carefully press their fingers down for a second. It feels like kind of the sign for basically, we okay? Or is this okay?
And quietly, Colm says, it's all right.
After another moment, couple of things happen. So first of all, Colm, you hear another sigh of relief. And you hear, sort of whispered, this voice that sounds, or for a moment, that sounds kind of like yours. Says, thank you. And Jay, after a moment, you're going to feel, again with your right hand, a couple of fingers interlace yours. Home, you will feel there's motion around you. You're still holding on to someone. And there's a little bit, you'll feel another piece of paper kind of press into your hand. And this feeling as of, this sort of zephyr-like feeling of the wind kind of blowing a little bit, something sort of drifting away.
I wait until it feels like whatever it is drifted fully away. And then I open my eyes.
You are holding Jay's hand. And your right hand also has a note in it.
Before I read the note, I say very quietly, it's okay, lad. You can open up your eyes now.
He opens his eyes and he looks down at the hands, and there's like just beet red.
And Colm smiles very, very slightly and says, I don't know what of the rest of this is real, but this is.
And I feel like that's actually a good place for us to go to break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So we're going to do that. I've got an interview queued up.
Right.
We shall take a quick break, and we shall return and see what other wonders await us in this labyrinth. We'll see you soon. Welcome to the break. I have Trooper SJP with me today to chat about all manner of things. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am still breathing, which I think is the important thing to remember to do. On a daily basis, one hopes.
In multiple times in a row.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting that part, but I'll get it. I'll get it sooner or later. But no, something that we wanted to talk about a little bit today is we both have theater backgrounds, as it turns out, and I know you basically we also both have writing backgrounds to a certain extent, and I actually wanted to find out. Or not so much find out, but see kind of what your thoughts were on sort of intersections of RPGs with these various entertainment media, and just sort of where you might happen to see crossovers and how the one might inform the other.
So I have a super spicy take, though.
Oh, yes?
I do have a very spicy take. And my spicy take is this. From the very beginning, you would always have people, like you'd see, like, what is an RPG, right? They would always ask, like, what is Dungeons and Dragons? What is it? And they'd always say, oh, it's improvisational radio theater, right? They'd always somehow try to tell you what an RPG is by referencing film, books, these other media. And the thing is, it's not. And I don't mean this as and I mean this in the way, I've thought a lot about adaptations in different media. It's one of the things I do for a living. And I know that people will often say, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could take that big sprawling 80-hour RPG video game and make it a film? And I think, I don't know. A video game is really different from a film. It's 80 hours of content that you as a player have active participation in. Like there are these, like, it's not the same medium. And there are things that video games, and everyone's like, oh, there are no good video game movies, as if video games are somehow inferior in art form to film. But video games can do things that film can't. And when I think about RPGs, I think about the ways in which RPGs are a really special medium. They're not exactly books, because books can do all sorts of things that RPGs can't, and vice versa. They're not film. They're not exactly theater. It's like, there's that trend of getting lots of improv actors to do RPGs.
Yeah.
It's like, but improv and RPGs are not actually the same. Use improvisatory skills, but the function of an improv show is totally different than an RPG game where the players are the audience as well. It's a complicated thing. And I have thought long about what are the models we use when we are imagining how to put together an RPG. And are those models useful to us? And how can we really think about what it is that RPGs themselves do? And I was thinking about, for example, and this is like a weird thing, but in terms of writing and media and theater, I think for an ongoing RPG campaign, here's my people should maybe look less to film, which often has hero protagonist that is unitary with maybe some sidekicks, and that is particularly directed, like maybe that for like a one shot. And look a little bit more to daytime soap operas, actually, because daytime soap operas are about sort of long weaving stories, right? Where things sort of come through and come in and out in different kinds of ways. They're character focused, they're large ensembles. And there's a way in which the long scale soap opera certainly has plots and excitement and all that, but it is a bit more sympathetic to the kind of experience an RPG does as a story.
Yes.
So and I feel like because we don't necessarily respect soap operas as a media, as opposed to like our golden age of television where you want it to, I don't know. But there's a lot there that would be so interesting to think about in terms of thinking about RPGs.
I'm just going to say, I think you've hit on the crux of why I think streaming your RPG campaign works as even an entertainment thing. It's because of the soap opera factor. You get attached to certain characters. It's an ensemble thing. And you have you have characters that can come and go, even because as different players have to drop out, or as their characters die and they take on new characters. It is a lot more like a soap opera. I definitely agree on that.
And the pacing is different, and so this is a thing I was thinking about in terms of, and this is fascinating thinking about streaming. People will say, well, and this is, I think, perhaps not the most productive. People say, oh, well, we're streaming it. It has to be like a TV show. And by that, I think they mean, I don't know, Breaking Bad. They want it to be really intense, very tight, no waste. I was like, well, first off, that's actually not how RPGs work. RPGs don't really do that. And it's not scripted. So you can't do that. And I think that one of the also it's 4 hours. Like your RPG show is anywhere between 2 to 4 hours of a stream, right? I mean, there's some that are 2, there's some that are up to 4, but the streams are long. So how do you sustain viewer interest over 4 hours, potentially 4 hours, let's say 3 as an average, when a TV show is a half hour to an hour? Well, you don't do it by being intense the entire time like you are intense in a film. There's a moment where sort of sitting back and just sitting around the fire, that kind of what some people will call downtime, becomes, which is so important to an RPG that the players really enjoy, becomes really important for the RPG stream to sort of manage the pacing of the intensity, because you can't, as an audience member, be in full intense mode the entire time. There's no way that's healthy or you can sustain it, right? So I think that understanding that the rhythm and the pacing of an RPG is just really different from all of these other media.
Yeah.
Allows you to embrace the things that RPGs do that no one else does. And that is the excitement for me, like to think, not how can I make my RPG like a movie, but how can I make my RPG super RPG like? How can I really bring out all those things that make RPGs really special?
Yeah, I will say, I think to a certain extent, you can, the way you do things in an RPG or it can be inspired by movies and TV shows. And you know, I know that we've all done this thing where it's like the camera pans in, you know, that kind of thing, or the perspective shifts. And I think that that's a thing where it's and I've seen some games where you try to emulate a thing, but it does become entirely a different thing.
And that's cool, right? Like I think that's really neat.
Absolutely.
Because you know what's neat though, I was thinking about, and I was also like random as a theater person, like why is it film and not theater? Why is it not when the curtain rises? Like what's up with that? But all right, that's cool. We'll think about it.
And some things that if you want to, and again, it's not quite, but I think it's closer to theater than it is to something like film or TV, because you're right there.
Yeah, and I actually also think that it's closer to theater than film or TV on a meta level, and that's when we're thinking about for this moment, because there's been a lot of scandal and discussion in the world, and I think that when we're thinking about safety tools, it's important to remember that this is a lot more like theater than it is film or television. In film or television, if something is going badly, you can just stop, yell, cut, and nobody feels badly about that. But theater actors are trained from the time they're very young that the show must go on, that you just push through whatever is happening on stage. I mean, like I cut my hand in the first scene of a play I was in and bled for the entire 2-hour show because I had no time to fix my hand, and I didn't just I don't think that's healthy. But the point is that there's a particular kind of way in which people who are doing a live show often feel like they have to just pressure through, and streamed RPGs are live shows, and so we really have to think about safety tools. How can we help deal with bleed? How can we help deal with making sure that the people who are players in a stream show feel safe and feel like they can bring up concerns on a stream show with an audience without that being a problem for them? And I think that we have to recognize that we are similar to theater in that way, that we are doing live shows, and that we do need to have a special kind of care for our players and GM in that environment.
Absolutely, it's really a case of where it's. I've had many a fractured bone and a bruised limb that will very much agree with that same experience, as it were. Not agree with the experience, but you know what I mean. We'll be able to testify that such is definitely the case. And that, I think that in many ways, the RPGs can be made to be better because you actually are trying to care about the people you are playing a game with. It is that kind of activity that you're trying to in a sense to embrace the people you are with. That's instead of just use them as tools.
Right, because the GM is not a director. Just again, this is why I think we have to be really careful not to sort of mix our metaphors over much.
Exactly.
We can take inspiration, but a film has a director who's like, "This is my vision. RPGs don't have directors. They have referees, game moderators, right? But they don't have directors. And so remembering that we're all in this together, that we are playing a game, we should be having fun. And right, and fun can be really intense, but that this should be fun and that we're all in it together is one of those things where how can we embrace the specialness, right? Sort of be inspired by, and also maybe we could, if we want to be inspired by other media, be inspired by a lot more other media, not just film or television, but maybe be inspired, like, what would an RPG look like if it were inspired by poetry? What would an RPG look like if it were inspired by, I don't know, like, what about like dance? Like, what would an RPG look like if you're like, oh, I've been thinking about how people put together dance routines and choreography, and how might I use that kind of physical thing to inspire this game in some way? I don't know. Like let's broaden where we get our influences to make the game it's especially its own thing and like really rich and cool. Like, that's exciting.
Absolutely. There is so much that can be done, and so much that is, as of yet, either untapped or a little known. And I'm just very excited to see where just the whole idea of gamery goes in the future. Yeah. Absolutely.
Me too.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us about this. I really appreciate it. If folks want to find you online, where should they go?
Ooh, you can find me at Trooper SJP on Twitch, and you can find me at Academic Foxhole on Twitter. I don't know why Twitch is here and Twitter's over there, but it is.
It is, in a spiritual sense, in those directions. And something.
I think it's because I feel like here's where like links are, and I was like, oh, like, well, we're in Twitch right now, so like this is the website we're in, but then you'd have to go that way.
Yes, that's
I don't
right.
know why you have to.
We're inside the Twitch machine, and that's how we climb to the different parts. That's where the ladder to the link is. That's how we get there. Absolutely.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Take care, folks, and we will see you later. we have returned. And we are within the labyrinth. We're not very far into the labyrinth yet. But we're going to see we're going to see kind of how things are going. Colm? I just wanted to know if you're going to read the note. That's one.
Yeah,
question,
I was going to start out with that.
Okay. This note is a little different. It is typewritten, it looks like, somehow. And, except across the top is the same writing from before. It says, "Thank you." And then typewritten underneath it is, "Come to the mirror, and we'll figure out how I can help you."
Gets up, dusts himself off, and kind of holds up the note so that Dustin and Jay can see it. And then he walks over to the mirror.
Okay. As you are approaching the mirror, you see what looks like should be you in the mirror is this figure all in gray. Like kind of a grayscale version of yourself.
Okay.
And as it's approaching, you see actually its edges are kind of hazy, somewhat. And as you approach and you get close enough that and it's mirroring your movements. It sort of stops for a moment, though, as you're there. And you see that its edges sort of continue to fade. It looks less and less like you as it looks sort of more odd, blobby kind of thing going on, just sort of like hazy thing.
Mm-hmm.
For a moment, it's like, just a moment. It whispers. You still need me like that?
I do not think so.
Okay. You find something's a little easier. Hang on. And it sort of shifts. Oh, wow. No, Jim, why are you doing this? It resolves itself as it changes and the face starts taking on more definition. Someone about as tall as you. And looks like he's wearing your team jersey. And as he dials into focus, you can see that he is appearing as Will Callahan, your deceased teammate.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Is this one all right?"
A little.
Oh, it's not all right, is it? I'm sorry.
I mean, that's easiest for you, it's easiest for you, but did just lose the man.
Oh, that's very insensitive. I'm sorry. I can try again if you. I can try again if you need me to.
All right. All right.
All right. I can try again. At any rate, it's just you probably won't be here long. Thank you again. By the way, that was very helpful. How can I help you?
I said, Leo and Brenda Jay's are here somewhere. Leo was kidnapped by some red knight who's trying to do something with weird ice. But in the end, trying to get to Leo, trying to get him safe. I don't know what you can do to help with that.
Yeah. So, like, can you describe Leo to me?
And I give as best a description as I can.
That's fine. Like, all right. Oh, do you describe the tattoo?
Yes.
Oh, it's part of the wax court.
Maybe.
That could be an explanation. It's they got all kinds of things here where they're the court where the different gangs go at each other, you know. But the Red Knight did it. Yeah. I heard about a knight. Was in here somewhere. Just come back after a while. Labyrinth might help you get there. That's possible, but it kind of does what it just sort of does what it does. Does that make sense?
I think I understand.
I don't know how fast or slow you're going to make it there.
Right.
Depends on what you got. To an extent, depends on what you got going on in here.
Well, that's a good question, isn't it?
You're telling me. But you're trying to track down this Red Knight. He brought a bunch of ice in here, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there are a couple of folks we can try and ask. I know are around.
Right.
I saw the Mystic come in here not too long ago. I don't know exactly where he is. No, Mystic. He's kind of more of a stage magician. Saw him come through. So he might know something because he knows a lot of things he ain't supposed to.
All right.
The Goblin might know. He knows everybody.
Mystic and the Goblin.
Yeah. One of them two might be able to help you if you run across him.
They weren't in a labyrinth. I'd say this is all some of that game my nephew plays with the dice and all.
Oh. Oh yeah, we got them folks in here. Quite a few. Usually they're in college. Usually they're like staying up all night, that kind of thing. They stayed up all night playing instead of studying like they were supposed to.
Hey. Hey. So, can I ask you one more question?
Of course.
What do I call you?
Oh. Well, I mean, obviously I'm not the guy you're seeing in front of you right now. But,
Figured that much.
I mean, if it makes you feel comfortable, you can call me his name, but I'm, myself, yeah. I'm, some folks are, I guess the closest translation of my name would be like the one who watches.
Alright.
The observer. That's a good one. I don't normally do this.
Yeah, I kind of figured, but
I'm not,
I just wanted to say thank you for all this.
don't mention it. It's a pleasure. Normally people start destroying stuff. Either that or they try to hunt you down. That's terrible. But, yeah, so, trying to think. Yeah. You're looking for either of them fellas, as can help you out. It's better to just sort of have the right feel for it, basically, if it makes sense. Whatever you think feels right is going to be the right direction.
All right. That's
I think that's the best way I can describe it.
Or... That's done for my friends too, or just me?
Yeah, everybody. Anybody who comes in. It's
All right.
very adaptive, this place.
Yeah. You follow your vibe, as they say.
Yes, follow your vibes, absolutely.
Hey. All right. Well, thank you, Observer. You've done us a good turn. In more ways than one.
And he nods. And after a moment, he goes hazy again for a moment, and then it's like this sort of the haze peels off, and then you're just looking at yourself in the mirror.
Well, you heard the man. I guess we just follow our vibe, then. Is that not what they say?
Language changes so frequently. There's new slang terms every day. I just gonna go with it. It's fine.
Exactly is our vibe.
Well, I mean, what feels right to you around here?
Oh.
And please don't say nothing, because that would be depressing.
I mean, for the Mad City, everything feels right.
All right.
Well, you've got these. You're in a position now. You've been in the room long enough. You can see that these three archways each have hallways leading away from them.
Mm-hmm.
And these three archways do have symbols atop them.
Right.
What are the symbols?
So, on the left side of the room is what looks like there's this small sort of tombstone that's atop that door, that archway. The middle archway has what looks like a graven image of hands folded in prayer. And the one on the right The one on the right has what looks like someone has drawn an image of someone's head and and little sort of squiggles of that look like, I know, something radiating out from the person's mouth is open, and there's like sound waves
this what
maybe
they're
radiating
talking?
out from the mouth. Yeah. And so those are the three symbols.
Well, my money's on the talking head. The grave is a grave, and I'm not praying the gay away.
Oh, I'd like it a good enough vibe to send me. What do you think, Dustin?
Well, I mean, if we're gonna follow the right vibe, we might as well go in the right direction.
Sounds good.
All right. You heading that way? I assume you're heading in the you're heading for the one on the right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I shall consult me charts real quick or something. Excellent. There we go. Who is going through that archway first?
I'll go first.
Okay. Okay. I need you to press the labyrinth button.
Yep. Button
Thank you.
pressed.
Interesting. Constantly giving us low numbers here. All right. 115 and 38.
Some manner of heading. Coordinates, maybe.
Chapter and verse of the Bible.
The numbers, what do they mean? What do you mean by this?
All right.
Now, I will say that there is no Genesis 1538. There is a Genesis 38:15, and it's a thing.
Okay. Gotcha.
Just looked it up.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm?
Nothing. Keep
Oh,
going.
I see. Yes, yes, right, yeah.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah. Last one's 38. Oh, really? Okay. Well, that'll be interesting. So, you're heading down this corridor. You have these gray stone brick walls on either side of you again. The wooden floor continues. You have a white ceiling that's a little bit lower, with falling plaster falling from it. As you hear this grinding sound as you get about the middle of the way down this corridor.
Mm-hmm.
Dust on the floor. As you enter this room, there are lights in sconces that turn on. kind of to light your way.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few doors in this hallway, just a couple, that look like they don't belong here. Once again, of the usual kind that one finds in the Mad City, by which I mean completely unusual. You're heading towards
unusual time.
Yeah, the usual unusual. You're heading toward a light source. This looks like another archway. And as you move toward this room, you can start to see it. You see that it is, looks like, again, floor to ceiling brick, uniform, sort of, looks like clay bricks again. But not very red. It's more sort of, more again, salmon colored, actually. But these are more like clay bricks. The room ahead looks like it has probably a flat stone floor. And maybe a vaulted ceiling. As you're heading to it, you see that there are pillars around this room. You see that there are You will note as you go down this hallway, there are a couple of places where the hallway can turn. There are a couple of more doors that don't belong down those. But you see coming up ahead, you see this person speaking symbol above this archway. And in that, as again you can see into that room, there are, I think you can see probably, well, the thing in the middle of the room is probably the, of most import, the thing you can see most easily. It's this raised dais, stone dais, comes up a little bit from the floor. And, it looks like it's this sort of animal pen looking thing. There's something large curled up. Large and furred, curled up. And you can hear this sort of labored breathing as of several people. Sort of like maybe asleep. Hard to know. Mild snoring actually, so yeah, probably. There is something sitting next to this pen, this animal pen. That's the detail that you can see from outside of the room.
Any clues as to what the animal might be?
You can't see it well enough from here to be able to really make that distinction.
Okay.
You think it your sense of scale is like it's probably fairly big.
Cool.
Maybe roughly like bear-sized.
Okay. Fuck it, we ball.
Sort of, and it does have brown fur.
Alrighty, let's go poke a bear, I guess.
All right. Admire that. Let's go poke a bear.
So, you proceed into the room, I take it.
Yeah. Confidence is key.
But only just barely.
Oh, don't start.
Entering the room pursued by a bear. Okay.
Backwards Shakespeare in here.
We went looking for a bear. Didn't find a bear. Bear found us.
Sometimes, some days, you find the bear. And some days, well, the bear finds you.
Right?
You enter the room. And, more details. You see, again, there are a couple of doors here that don't belong. And then there are doors. There are 3 doors, again, in left, right, and forward, that look more like the entrance door, the sort of the wooden door with the ring handle. That you can see they have things above them, but you'll need to make a closer examination to determine those. In this room also, there are a couple of tables, again with things like tea sets and what have you. Sort of, they're kind of near the pillars. And there's a table actually more in the middle that's a little bit off to the left of where the animal pen is. And that table there, next to that table, is an easel with it looks like a number of, it's turned away from you, but you know there's papers on it that someone is rifling through, and there are a lot of papers strewn around on the floor nearby this person. This person, you think, is the guy you saw outside the labyrinth earlier with the blindfold. He's wearing a tuxedo, a cape, and a blindfold. And he seems to be examining the pages somehow. To the right of the pen sits a large creature. Who's wearing this sort of like a burlap, kind of almost outfit, a hooded outfit, and is sort of sitting on some kind of chair maybe or something, but very large, kind of like, you don't know how big this person is, but they're sort of big and wide, and they've kind of got their arms folded, and you can't see their face terribly well from here or their hands because their arms are folded, but big, thick individual. To the right of this animal pen. The creature in the animal pen, as far as you can tell at this distance, is looking like the brown hair is fairly short, and you can see sort of its back, and the snoring is coming from the sounds of multiple people snoring is coming from it. And that is the scene you see before you.
Oof.
Yes, that is the scene you presently see before you. And as you enter, also, I should point this out. As you enter, you hear there's this kind of vibration that happens. And there are 4 big pillars that are holding up this room. Again, the vaulted ceiling. Each one is kind of, every now and then, each one of them sort of vibrates with this tone. This stone pillar seems to vibrate with a tone. A little bit. Every now and then. It has something to do with what the blindfolded guy is doing with the pages. Maybe, you're not sure. You're not sure exactly. It seems to be at random almost. But he's the only one moving, so maybe it's him. Or maybe it has nothing to do with him. Maybe it has, but it's not in any kind of rhythm. But when it does happen, sort of at random, it's sort of like comes out. the creature in the pen sort of shifts a little bit. That is what you see before you. There's this low level, I should say, this reverberation of this sound coming out from the pillars. It's always there, this low level sort of humming. Almost sounds like singing, actually. Like someone actually going, Okay, I'm finally done describing this. What would you like to do?
We've got to cross the room to get to the doors on the other side. If we want to
Yes,
proceed.
you do need to do that, yes.
Shit. Don't like this. Would rather not deal with anything in this room.
You think maybe the man with the top hat might be the mystic? Because they said he's like a stage magician, and stage magicians have that kind of hat.
That is a thought, yeah. And he was one of the ones who saw us earlier, and I don't like that.
You want us to,
I don't think we should. I'd rather just not mess with him, but we gotta take a chance on.
I was largely joking. I don't have a gun.
You don't have a gun, but you're you. I watched you beat the crap out of that guy, you know?
That's true.
Wouldn't be quiet, but you could do it.
That's true. Good. But I think you're right. I mean, I don't think violence is the answer here, and don't ever quote me on that, because violence is usually the answer where I come from. Anyone who tells you that violence isn't the answer just isn't asking the right questions.
I got this. I'm gonna work a little magic of my own. And I'm gonna step into the room a little bit more fully, and then just... Confidence is key. Hi. Hello.
I need to know a couple of things.
Cool.
From where are you saying this, and in whose direction?
Toward the mystic? Like, I'll step a little bit more fully into the room. I'm not gonna, like, yell it. I'm not gonna, like, speak loud enough to say, wake the sleeping whatever in the cage. But, you know, I want to get the guy's attention, and the mystic, the guy we think is the mystic. Cape dude. Yeah. And I'm just like, you know. Hello, hi.
I will, I must learn this lesson that if I am distracted if I distract myself while I am making my tea, then I will sometimes forget to put things in it. But that said, that is not for us to worry about. You say this loud enough for him to hear it. And as you do, and this is an interesting thing, and everyone notices this, as you stepped into the room, it's like the pillars vibrated just a little bit with the tones of your footsteps. And then as you speak, it augments and bounces your voice around the room for a moment. It's like, so when you say, so hey there, it's you can hear yourself saying that again, but it becomes more melodic and more musical, this sort of, hey there, hey there, hey there. It's bouncing around, and you hear this come from sort of the middle, where the animal is sleeping in the pit in the pen.
You muted.
And you sort of look up, and the two people in this room, look up simultaneously. And go, shh.
I'm gonna, like...
I need to know, actually, at this moment. what specifically each of you is looking at when that happens.
I'm looking right at the dude with the cape.
Okay.
Same.
Colm, what are you looking at?
Judith Cape.
Dustin, what are you looking at?
The animal pen.
I will tell you. Dustin. A couple of things. There are a couple of things that you notice. One thing you notice is that the being sitting next to the pen has gray skin and these three big. He has 3 fingers on his hand. 3 big meaty. He has a 3-fingered hand, big meaty fingers. They come up to where his face should be when he says shh. That's the first thing you notice. The second thing you notice, for just a split second, above this creature, as it is starting to stir, you see this light, brief light coming off it that coalesces above it. And is there 1 point of light or 3? There might be 3 points of light coalescing above it, but the one in the middle is the strongest. It rises up and looks just like a spark of creativity that forms as the sound waves go over this creature. For just a moment, you see it, but then the creature is sort of falling asleep and the spark goes out. Dustin, only you see this. Happens very quickly. And I will say that Jay, as you seem to be addressing the person we think might be the mystic, when he goes shh.
And he tiptoes over, very quietly moving.
Okay, you're heading over there. I just want to know what everyone else is doing.
Holm is staying by the door, but he's keeping an eye on what Jay's doing.
Yeah. And you are hearing sort of behind you the low grinding sound, low stone against stone sound from deeper in. It doesn't make much of a ping in here. A little bit, not much more. What's Dustin doing?
I think for a moment, at least for a couple of moments, he's kind of just rooted there, staring at the bear, thinking about what he had seen.
Okay. Okay, you make your way over to this person who's at this table. I divine you and you keep your peace.
Didn't realize. I'm going to speak at a normal volume, but I'm going to...
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, we're...
Yeah. Okay.
Take it as read. We are
sake
whispering.
of ease.
Yes.
For the sake of ease. We're looking for a couple of people, a couple of friends of ours who might be lost in here.
Yes, I know. I see it. I see that that is your intent.
Yeah. We were hoping maybe you could help.
I see this hope in you as well. Yes. Fascinating. And he continues he's flipping around with these papers that are on the easel and scattered on the floor around him. And then that's all he says right then.
Okay, yeah. I haven't been here long, but I've been here long enough to know that this kind of assistance doesn't come without a price. So perhaps we could work something out. Perhaps you're in need of something, and in exchange, we could get your assistance.
Try to do everything immediately, don't you? Patience? Any patience?
I could probably scare some up, but we are a little pressed for time at the moment.
Well, so is everyone in this room. Unfortunately, there's something I must sort out. I don't know how much time I have, but probably not a lot.
Many hands make light work.
How are you at creating art?
I'm gonna look over at Dustin, and I'm gonna beckon him over. I'm not the best, but I think my friend here might be a little bit more handy in that regard.
Dustin's going to have walked over at this point and just kind of, what's going on?
He's in a hurry. Said something about how are you creating art. I figured that's more your wheelhouse.
And I think Dustin's going to kind of glance at the bear for a moment and then look back and go, what kind of art?
I'm trying to assemble these. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to assemble these. I'm trying to assemble these pieces. I am trying to make them into a proper vision. And I have yet to be able to, in the time that I have, which is probably not very much. Is it? What time do you have, by the way?
It was like what? It was almost 1:30 when we entered the labyrinth, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a little after. It was after 1:30.
So about now it would probably be close to about what, 1:45, 2 o'clock.
Oh. Yeah, without looking, that's the best you can estimate that it's. It's got to be getting close. Yeah, it's got to be past. You spent longer than 15 minutes in the labyrinth so far. You know that much.
Yeah. So it's I think it's around 2.
Oh,
Ish.
we don't have long. We don't have long.
What pieces is it? Are these that you're trying to assemble?
And you see him shifting these pages around. A pattern, a mind pattern, a pattern of knowledge, a pattern of beauty, a pattern of art, for lack of a better term. A vision, as I said.
Okay. I mean, I'd have to see them in order for me to be able to, or hear them or whatever.
Can you see them?
If I take a look, do I see them?
You look at the pages.
Mm-hmm.
So You look at the pages and you see that there are a bunch of lines on them. Some of the lines are might be moving a little bit, possibly very slowly. Like someone has drawn lines with chalk. Their medium was chalk on these pages. And they look like very sort of abstract symbols. Or parts of abstract symbols, maybe. Like 1/4 of an abstract symbol of sorts, but it's not even defined enough that it would necessarily be on it by itself anything.
Okay.
It's not exactly like a puzzle piece, but it kind of is.
Ooh. All right. So we are definitely going to push the limit here. And by push the limit, I mean potentially go over the threshold. So if I use my so my exhaustion talent is perception and being able to take a look at things and sort of connect the dots and see where the patterns exist.
Mm-hmm.
So if I use that, is this the kind of thing where I should be able to go ahead and kind of figure out the correct way to arrange the symbol, these partial symbols?
Oh, you certainly might. Yeah, that certainly could be the outcome of this. Perhaps. If you would like to try to make sense of this.
Mm-hmm.
And see about putting it into a good pattern.
Okay.
Then the pain of this, given all of the things that are happening currently, and the time limit, the pain of this is going to be a 6.
Okay. And I have to increase my exhaustion to use the talent before, right?
If you want to use make a major use of it, yes. If it's a minor use, you don't have to. Minor use means that regardless of what you roll on your exhaustion dice, they will be counted as successes. Major means you add however many exhaustion dice you have to your total successes. Plus, you also count whatever's on your exhaustion dice.
All right. Let's try with just a minor.
It's minor use? Okay.
Yeah.
Remind myself. And,
All right. Let me... And I'm going to go ahead and add a madness die.
Okay.
I mean, I probably don't need it, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Sure, may as well.
What's the worst that could happen?
That right
Well,
there.
Time to roll pain.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah.
That could work really well.
And discipline will almost definitely dominate.
Yeah.
Well,
Sick.
I have
Yeah.
2 successes. You have 3 successes. And it does look as though discipline is dominating. Let me think about this for a moment, though.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You've got 1 more success than I do. I feel as though let me see here. Oh dear. Okay. Wait. Okay, there it is. Yay, there it is again. So, how evil do I want to be right now? I could be thoroughly evil right now. Let's be moderately evil. I'm going to go ahead and spend a despair coin. I will not gain a despair coin by this, but I am going to take away one of the 6s in discipline, so that pain is dominating. I don't get a coin. I don't get another coin of despair out of that, obviously. But you're going to find a pattern.
Okay.
You're going to find the pattern in the amount of time that you were looking for. Just.
Okay.
But there's some creativity involved in this as well, because you realize as you're going through and you're looking at these that it's like, well, is this just what I'm seeing? It might just be what I'm seeing. But it's like you're making a work of art. You are creating an image. You find you can create images with this. What kind of image are you creating?
Oh. The ice sculpture from the wedding, except that this time it looks proper. Like there's nothing, like how it should have been, instead of, having a baby dragon inside. And the miasma.
Yeah. But it's the 2 dragons holding a heart, right?
Correct.
You form this pattern, quickly putting things into place. And just as you lay the last page down, as the mystic is sort of kind of assisting you and making sure that everything stays in place, just as you set the final page down, you can hear the clock go off. The sound created by these pages that you've put into place drifts up visibly between these pillars. These pages drift up visibly between these pillars in the formation, so that everyone in the room actually turns a bit slowly, so everyone can see this image. The 2 dragons holding the heart. As the tone from the clock tower reverberates through, these pillars are lit up with the vibrational activity that is visible. It's almost a little bit like, Dustin, what you've seen Lila able to do sometimes when she uses her madness talent and creates visible waves. There are colors here, though, as well, as these shoot back and forth across each other, carrying this image, this idea of this image. Oh no! And it absorbs him.
Oh no.
That's not
Oopsie.
good. Oh no!
Dustin, no.
So something has happened to Dustin, apparently. So I think what we're going to say is, give me a second to look and see.
He said he lost connection.
Yes, we've lost our connection. There's going to be this moment, I think, probably. I hope he's okay. I think at the climax of this, everything seems to slow down as these pages have been stirred up, and all the ones that he didn't use are now flying around the room. Hey!
Yeah, sorry about that. Last thing I heard was talking about the sound, like as the image finished, and it was like right after the clock struck twice, and
Yes.
you said that the image rose up. Everybody started looking at it.
Yes. Pages are flying around the room also, as this is happening. And drifting around you, sort of orbiting you, Dustin. And this image of the dragon is no longer even on the page. It's this sort of, it's the visual representation of the sound waves are bouncing around in that pattern, if that makes sense. Directly above this creature, who wakes up and is getting to its feet. It's like, as this light is cascading above it, and you see these sparks rising up, 3 sparks rising up from 3 heads that this creature has. The being sitting next to the creature is like slowly getting to its feet. And you hear 3 barks as this creature turns around, and you see that it is a 3-headed dog. Heads, the breed of the dog in question is, looks like a boxer. This is very big. It's about the size of a bear, but it's on 4 legs. And you see it sort of prowling forward toward the edge of the pen, like sniffing the air as these sparks of creativity appear above each of its heads. And Dustin, as you look at these sparks above the heads of this growling 3-headed dog, you realize and you see them and they're like, oh, each one of these is pure, it's concentrated, and it could be used to make the sculpture or anything look like a masterpiece. From the amount of energy contained in these sparks. What are you all doing?
Do these sparks appear like above the head, like they're not physically connected to the heads, right? They're
only
kinda like floating
metaphysically. They follow the same motion as the heads.
Okay.
They are not physically connected, but there is light going back and forth between this beast and the sparks.
like the little green crystal over the head of a sim.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
But there are 3 of them. These would each cost a fortune in the Mad City. Or the equivalent of a fortune. A life. These are the biggest sparks of creativity you have ever seen.
I think for the moment, Dustin is kind of paralyzed. His mind is racing
I think
about the possibility.
I think Jay's looking at Dustin and then looking at the dog and not really getting what's going on here. He's like trying to piece it together. Some kind of weird light over these heads. Dustin is staring at them like would it be fair to say that Dustin's sort of staring at it like a starving man at a piece of at a plate of food or something like that? Something akin.
Oh yeah. He's
The desire is writ clear on his face.
He's practically salivating.
Didn't you need our help with something, lad?
And I think for a moment, he doesn't even really respond initially. There's kind of like a space, and then he's just kind of like, no. And like he's kind of like on the verge of taking a step forward towards the dog.
What are those? And why do you need them?
Those are life. Those they're they help me along just a little. You know, when I'm having trouble thinking of something, you know, I mean, usually normally what I get is a little bit smaller than that, but something like that right there. Wouldn't have any problem doing art for quite a while.
You want to try to distract the dog?
The mystic is still here, right? Like everybody else is still in the room, right?
Yeah, the mystic is still here. The mystic has heard everything you said and is just sort of nodding along, and just sort of nodding back at the dog and nodding in your direction. The being next to the pin has stood up at this point. You can see them a little bit better as they've kind of revealed their features, as they've kind of pulled their hood back. They haven't said anything yet, but you can tell that it's basically big, bulky, about like 7 or 8 feet tall, humanoid. They've got this gray and brown cloth all over them. they're draped in. Thick features, big sort of wide gray head, gray hands. It's got sort of these milky eyes. It's like the nose comes down and sort of is like almost sort of a very flat, wide, broad nose, you think, and you probably a wide mouth. The head actually comes forward a little bit. It's like it's kind of like a ram's face, a little bit, ram or a sheep. Not it doesn't it's not entirely like a sheep face, but it's
Right.
yeah. How the feet. He looks more human than anything else, but than any other creature. But it's still, that little sort of distended, not quite human, animalistic, little bit.
Right.
And it kind of is trying to. Currently, it's like sort of waving its hand a little bit toward the dog, and who's like still like, and he's like, it's kind of. Sort of still kind of keeping track of where the dog is and what it's doing, but also just looking in your direction. But yes, that's currently that's the state of these two other beings that are in here. Oh, three other. You have the dog.
Suppose the question would be if we'd be allowed to take one. Doesn't seem like it belongs to us.
Dustin is going to turn to the mystic and ask, since I helped you with your problem, could you help me with mine?
Yes. I see. That was your desire. Yes, this was helpful. Yes, a fine pattern. Will come in quite handy. Yes, I can try to help you in some way. He leans forward. I know what you want. What you want to ask. Of me.
Well, not of you so much. He looks over at the three-headed dog and goes,
Kind of help.
what I could really use, a spark.
Yes, I know.
It would certainly help me the next time a pattern needed to be made.
Oh. The Guardian oversees the dog. The Guardian oversees what is there. The Guardian will note what you do. Now, it depends. Really. If you wish to do this above board, then you would treat with the Guardian. If you would do this above board. But that is up to you.
Could you maybe speak on my behalf to the Guardian?
I don't know. I can try. I don't know if the Guardian wants anything from me in particular. But I think I know what the Guardian will want to know. Perhaps. It's a tricky thing, you see. I have to convince the Guardian. And it's very difficult. Talking to the Guardians are almost like talking to the Labyrinth. I can try, but, well, we'll see, I suppose.
How long is this going to take?
Ah, yes. I see that you have a pressing need. Well, I will admit my arguments with the Guardians of this labyrinth are somewhat Byzantine in nature. I don't know if I can do it quickly. I could do something to help you get the spark, but if you want that done quickly, I can't say it will be done well. As far at least as the Guardian is concerned. Depends on what, if you're willing to do what the Guardian thinks necessary.
Dustin?
There's a moment of hesitation before turning. Yeah.
Is this more important than going to help Leo? Getting him out of here? Finding Sophie? Getting her out? Getting us out? Is this worth it? Because if you tell me it is, and you tell me that honestly, then I'll stick with you on it.
There is a moment of hesitation on Dustin's part before he says, no, of course not. I mean, it's important, yeah, but getting you all out of here, I can come back. It's not an issue. I've come back before, so yeah, we'll find Leo. We'll get everybody home. I can find my way back to the labyrinth. It's not an issue. We should go. And then I think Dustin is actually going to kind of like try to like quick move away from. But it's also that kind of thing where it's like, even though he's quickly moving away, like back towards the door, there is like, the one or two, glances back.
Yeah.
So I have multiple questions now. Well, I have a question and then I have a thing I need to tell you. When you say towards the door, which door are you talking about? The left door, the middle door, the right door? Or are you just going to start looking around the room at the doors, or are you heading backwards? What do we?
I thought there was only one, the door that we came in through.
There's the archway. There's the archway you came in through, and then there are three doors in this room as well with symbols above them that you haven't had a chance to examine yet.
He's going to move towards where the three doors are to look at the symbols.
Okay. Now, as you are heading further sort of into the room to get to a point where And again, it's like they're spaced like left wall, middle wall, right wall. As you're getting to a point closer to sort of the middle where you can kind of see better, as you glance back, you said you glanced back a couple of times. The first time, the Guardian notices you looking and looks in your direction. The second time you look back, the Guardian is still looking in your direction, and you hear it speak. Everyone here hears it speak. As it's nodding and says, "Do you understand?"
There's a moment of pause, and then Dustin just kind of nods his head.
He's just sort of gesturing to the dog and the sparks, and the dog's like, and Dustin nods,
Yeah.
and the Guardian nods back. Actually, I have a question for you. Rrok, is Dustin telling the truth?
About does he understand, or about everything else being more important?
About does he understand?
So the conclusion that Dustin has come to, whether he's right or wrong, is that oh god, I forgot what their name was. The point of contact, the dealer.
So in this room are the Mystic and the Guardian and the Cerberus like dog.
Dustin's dealer.
Oh, Hemlock.
Forgot what their Hemlock. In Dustin's head, the connection is made is that somehow Hemlock might be getting the sparks of creativity that they sell Dustin from the dog, or some similar source. There is this, at least at some base level, there's this understanding that the sparks of creativity are not like something that's being manufactured somehow. They're organic in their origin. Whether they're being, refined or distilled or whatever.
Okay.
Whatever process that's being used to cut them down to size. There's still this understanding that, okay, sparks of creativity come from something that's alive first.
Right. Okay. When you say "I understand," the Guardian will. I don't know if are you pausing to let the Guardian talk to you, or are you just going to try to? I'm just curious.
When the Guardian asks the question, Dustin is stopping. Yeah, it's definitely a pause. Because he responds.
And the Guardian's brows kind of shift, sort of quirks an eyebrow. It's like, do you desire understanding of both halves of the problem?
Dustin's going to definitely wrestle with that one, because there's that on one hand, yeah, he does. On the other hand, he can't determine whether or not ignorance truly is bliss. I think he's going to give in to his curiosity and say yes. he's going to slowly walk back over to the Guardian.
The dog's like, all with 3 heads. I can't do it because I only have the 1 head. But as you step forward, the Guardian's like, shh. Sort of scritches the dog behind one of the ears, and the dog. There's a thing here. There's a thing here. I just want to make sure that I have right. Yes. It's mostly the head that's closest to you that's been kind of like that's doing the barking. The one in the middle is like sees you come closer. It's like one on the right's getting scritches, so it's perfectly fine. The Guardian continues to scritch the rightmost head as it says this. Do you understand where these sparks came from?
Dustin's just going to look down at the dog and then back at the Guardian.
He's sort of petting the dog. It's like, did the dog? Did this one create the light? Or again, he seems to be indicating the dog. Whence came the light?
I'm not sure.
From what were the sparks created?
From life?
Do you wish to understand both halves of the problem?
Yes.
Who created the sparks?
I'm not sure specifically.
Were you here when the sparks were created?
No.
How much longer do you wish to be in this cycle?
I think Dustin's going to take like a step back for a moment, you know, like surprise, shock kind of thing. Because I don't think it's even occurred to Dustin that he is actually in a cycle.
That's the dog. That's the head on the left.
Right. I don't want to be in a cycle.
And Guardian nods. Then are you prepared to admit the truth of the problem?
I don't know.
Will you return when you are ready to face the problem?
I want to say yes. I'd like to think so.
Do you say yes?
There is going to be a long pause. Before Dustin hesitantly says yes.
Guardian reaches into a pocket, brings its hand forth, moves toward you. It opens its hand, and you see inside it is a key. And the handle of the key has a little symbol etched into it like the ones on the pages.
There's going to be hesitation when Dustin goes to reach for it. Like there's a moment of pause where he just stares at the key, and he's like, there's that initial movement of the hand, a pause, and then he reaches for the key, and he pauses one more time before opening his hand to accept the key.
And he will let you take the key. His hand is much bigger than yours, so it's kind of like, you know.
Right.
But he'll place it in your hand. His entire hand is like.
Yeah.
And it nods after handing it to you, and then it starts to kind of turns toward the dog and starts to try to pet the other heads and sort of like calming it down. And you see the sparks slowly start to fade over the dogs' heads.
Dustin just kind of stands there for a moment or two watching before turning around and walking back over to Jay and Colm.
Right?
Let's find Leo and see if we can find Sophie and get out of here.
Lana as well?
We'll see what happens.
All right.
Yeah, of course, we'll get Lana as well.
The guardian no longer no longer interacts with you at this point. It's basically taking care of the dog, getting it rested. Probably going to feed it at some point soon.
Right.
Take it for a walk. Who knows? The mystic sort of watches, interested. And sort of nods, shrugs, and we'll reach in. We'll sort of reach forward, and you see a business card appears between his two extended fingers, just suddenly, and he holds it up and he says, "Right, well, it seems I could not. Right, well, it seems I could not work off my debt in this moment, but perhaps later when you need it. In the meantime, I have business to attend to." And he vanishes in a puff of smoke, and his business card flutters down to the ground. The sounds reverberate, the sound of his disappearance reverberating back and forth between the pillars.
I guess I'll pick that up.
Yeah, he was talking more toward Dustin, but you're closer to where he is.
Oh, my bad. I'll hand it to
Yeah.
Dustin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine either way. You know.
You can totally take the card if you want. Anyway, this there are three symbols above each. There are three symbols. One symbol above each of these doors. The door on the left has what looks like a picture of a podium hung above it. The door in the middle has what looks like a lance hanging above it. And the door on the right has a heart above it, a heart symbol above it.
Voice.
Oh.
I mean, no longer joust, but you know, I used to lance a lot.
Beautiful.
The dog in the middle howls again.
Dog in the middle is a fan of puns,
The dog's head in the middle howls again.
I mean, seems obvious to follow our heart, but
I mean, that's what I was gonna say, so.
I mean, we've been going right so far.
right,
One might say that we're on the right path.
right, well,
The dog starts howling slightly louder.
let's try at the heart door. Worst that
And
can
one of the
happen.
other heads is joined in as well.
Yeah.
You're heading for the door with the heart?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, you cross over to the right. That's sort of seeing the guardian trying to reassure the dog. You open the door, there's a corridor beyond. Seems to go down and snake to the left a bit. You all step through?
Yeah.
You all step through. The door creeps shut behind you. And that is where we're going to end for this week.
Stick.
we went over quite a bit. So my sincere apologies for that. But we are
We told a
Labyrinth
hell of
has
a story.
Yeah. Labyrinth has a tendency to draw one in that way. Thank you all very much for playing this evening. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you for running.
Yes,
Of course.
thank you.
Well, we are well on our way into this labyrinth. Who knows how many other things we're going to see before we find what we're looking for. I'll be honest, I had no idea how much of the labyrinth we were going to see, but it looks like we're getting to see a decent amount.
We still haven't found what we're looking for.
Not yet, no. Not
Though,
completely.
to be fair, Colin sort of has.
Yeah. The thing about the labyrinth, it does test one a bit. Well then, we're going to go ahead and do our outros. And feel free to tell folks where they can find you. Plug whatever you like. And any final thoughts that you have about this episode, about this session, anything that stood out to you, or anything you want to throw love at. Once again, we're going reverse order, so we're starting with Rrok.
Good evening, everyone. I am Rock and Roll. I can be found pretty much anywhere on the internet as Rock and Roll. I don't really have anything to plug pretty much most of the time. If I'm going to be on a stream or something like that, it's probably going to be here, playing games with Jim and all the wonderful people that he gathers to him. So, tonight was. I mean, I know I say this often, but tonight was another great session. It really was. It's a lot of fun. I always have a good time here. So, I really thought that with tonight's session, it was interesting how both Colm and Dustin had these kind of realization moments of facing certain realities and inner demons, which I thought that was kind of neat. So yeah.
I thought that was really neat too. I loved that. that ended up being the case. That just the part of it I loved was just seeing how you all reacted to it, and just seeing how individually you each sort of approached that aspect of yourselves. And so that was actually, and Dustin in particular, was just fascinating seeing him go through the whole process and of the edging towards self-aware, but perhaps not ready for the whole picture just yet. It was very well portrayed, sir. Now we will head over to Celeste.
Hi, I'm Celeste PLS with way too many underscores on Twitter. I'm Celeste Shepherd here on Twitch. I don't do a whole lot of streaming my own, but you can find me on other people's shows from time to time. This is currently the only live stream that I have going on in my life. A handful of home games here and there, but nothing else live for people to watch other than this. Definitely would love it if you guys checked out the Tales to Inspire podcast made by the good folks over at Misconceptions. They are getting into the back half of their first season and looking towards season 2. Things are looking even more interesting. I am going to be involved with that at some point. I can't exactly say when. We are keeping that close to the chest until it gets time to come. But please definitely go listen to everything they have so far, because it does take a little bit to pick up, but once it does start to pick up, it gets so good so quick. And it's a wonderful little alternate history superhero thing where the characters are actually making an impact on the timeline and things are changing, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun seeing just how screwy things get. definitely go give that a listen and definitely keep updated. Their most recent episode just dropped today. Every other Monday, new episodes come out, so definitely go give that a listen. It's a good time. Good folks over there. Really enjoyed the little bit with Colm and Jay. I am so invested. I am so unbelievably invested in what's going on with those two, and I'm we had big character moment for Dustin and big character moment for Colm, so like I'm like, my turn. But on the other hand, I'm like, haha, I'm in danger. Like, I have no idea what's gonna be presented to Jay, and I have no idea if he's gonna get through it. So, yeah, that'll be fun.
Yes.
Oh God.
Ah, yes.
Here.
Yes. It's also been really awesome watching the I agree. It's really awesome watching the Jay and Colm sort of thing. It's been a delight, and seeing that develop. But yes, more definitely is coming in the Labyrinth shall test everyone who enters. But now let us head over to Jimbeaux.
Hey, I'm James Silverstein, or Jimbeaux, and this is my cat Langston. He is reminding me that it is past our bedtime. But if you are a fan at all of hard-boiled detective fiction, especially hard-boiled detective fiction that involves necromancy, check out my books. My first one is Necropolis. My second one is The Case of the Scarlet Starlet. My third one is To Wake the Dead. I'm currently working on the fourth one. I plan on there being 8. You can find any and all of them on Amazon in both Kindle and Dead Tree versions. As for the game, I am consistently impressed with the weird, surreal dreamscape that Jim is able to put together for us. There is always something weird and new around every corner, and none of it feels unoriginal. You know, everything we hit, it's like, well, this is some new weirdness, and it does have that wonderful dream/nightmare quality to it all. Also, yes, big fan of what's going on between Colm and Jay, and I love watching Celeste's physical reaction to it all. And Colm is getting to the point where he hopes some of this is real. I don't think he believes that it is yet, but he's hoping that it is.
Just watching Colm's development here, it's like I've said, it's been an absolute delight. This has been great.
Thank you.
Just looking at this whole thing.
As I will add, as someone who had a lot of hurdles to cross figuring out their own sexuality, being able to do better for a character of mine makes me feel really good.
Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you for the
Greatest
opportunity.
possible gift.
Happy Pride Month.
Yes, damn straight.
Indeed.
No pun intended. Happy Pride Month.
Well, folks, I really enjoyed this session. There's this just I enjoy getting to bounce ideas around and just sort of conjure things up and see what, and just sort of throw them at you and see what happens, because this is as folks may be able to tell, I'm using a number of prompts this session that I can have little things written up to figure out, okay, how does this, but I'm kind of to an extent building the pieces as I go. So it's really delightful to see them, and surprising when they take new shapes, and I'm like, ooh, this is great. So this is wonderful. But who am I? Wouldn't we like to know that? For the time being, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch, Twitter, Hive, Mastodon, and most other social media platforms. Where I am not OtherDoc, I'm Jim Yes That Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. Down below on the Twitch page, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. Right now, the only thing I have scheduled officially between now and next week is this. So this will be coming up again on Monday, 1 week from today. We will continue our journey through the Labyrinth. How close are we to the end? I have no idea. Think the Labyrinth is moving a tad more slowly than I thought it was going to, but I am not at all disappointed. So I'm enjoying it. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, aside from that, I'm just sort of playing video games on this channel every few days. I'm playing Age of Empires right now, and I might throw in another game sometime soon. We'll see. And every other Thursday, not this coming Thursday, but every other Thursday, I'm also playing Old Text Adventures with my friend Lucci when he comes down. As though there's a physical direction on the internet. He beams in. So we do that. And that's it for right now. So when we hit the end card, we're going to go and send a raid over to Happy Jack's RPG, as they're playing their One Ring campaign. We're not usually up this late to say hi to them, so we're going to go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.
Bye-bye.